Hi, I'm Lisa from Lisa's Sanctuary, and this is day one of my health transformation. The background story is I am overweight. My health is not great at the moment, which I'll go into just briefly in a little bit. Every few weeks for the last few years, I get to a point where I'm okay, but then I just look in the mirror one day and I go, ugh, at how I look, at how I feel, at how I see myself, and that has to change. It has to stop. Now, I know how to lose weight. I'm going to be real, this is a raw account of it. I am currently sitting around 80 kilos that I can't really shift from. I don't go too much more and I don't go too much less. So there's something to do with that I'm going to unravel and really unpack along this journey. And I want you to come along with me because I want you to see the processes that I use, the tools that I use, the thoughts that I have, and how I overcome it and unpack it and really heal it. I believe that health and weight has a lot to do with the trauma that we hold on to from experiences across our whole lives. And so I really want to go into that for you and with you about why my trauma is, contributes to my health, my illness, and why trauma contributes, or how it contributes to the weight that I hold, that I'm overweight, and that I sabotage myself. I mean, I know how to be healthy. I know. I feel better about myself, think better thoughts about myself, and physically, I need to move more than I eat. That's literally it. But I sabotage that. I've been to the gym, I've had a personal trainer, and while I increased muscle and did feel better about myself, I always sabotage myself. Nothing changed. I never lost a great amount of weight. I never got to a point that I was happy with because I would either not go to the gym, make excuses to not go and see my trainer. I would tell myself, oh, I'm seeing a personal trainer once a week, so I don't need to work out. After that, that's enough. Totally untrue. I would also, when I was going to the gym and seeing my trainer for, decent sessions, and I was actually doing some walking outside of those sessions, I would sabotage it by eating way too much. I self-soothe with chocolate a lot. And it sabotages any progress that I have made or that I could make. So I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease when I was 19. It's an autoimmune condition. There is lots of research out there that suggests, and I believe it, that trauma creates the perfect environment for disease and illness. So I absolutely believe that the stress and the trauma in my body, the way I felt, the beliefs I had about who I was as a person, absolutely contributed to an autoimmune, a disease, a condition in my body, which, being autoimmune, attacks my body. It attacks my immune system. So I have struggled with that since I was 19. I've had 2 major operations. I've been on lots of different treatment courses of medications and, different procedures and just different treatments. So 12 months ago, or probably 2 years ago, I was working in child protection, but about 2 years ago was the time that I really started to burn out. We sat with trauma stories, people's trauma, just day in and day out. I mean, it can't not affect you. And so I, struggled with that compassion fatigue and vicarious trauma. And I ultimately burnt out because I just kept giving and giving. I wanted to help so much that I kept pushing myself to, get those assessments finished and get those home visits done and find out where I could connect people and all of that. So I burnt out. And then so that was about 2 years ago it started, and I kept ignoring, kept pushing through. And then about 12 months ago, just less than 12 months ago, my body just said enough. and I ended up in hospital. I had surgery. I have been on courses of treatments ever since then. I actually am going up to a more regional hospital today to have an infliximab infusion, which is the new treatment that I'm on, which seems to be working quite well. I also know that my health, especially when I'm unwell, is really heavily factored on the stress that I feel and that I'm living at the time. So this is also a journey of how I unpack my stress, how I resolve and heal, my trauma, my stress, anything that contributes. So that's around health. The weight, I do believe that, and I've looked at this over the last few years on and off, the weight I do believe is a protective factor for me. It's a safety measure because I haven't quite gotten to the cause of it, and it could be all of these things. And this is what I'm going to work through on this journey. So one, when I'm overweight, men won't look at me. I'm not attractive. I don't need to deal with that extra attention. Two is after I left my ex-husband, under quite, dramatic, violent circumstances, after I went through, that initial period of just pulling my life back together, in somehow, I did start going to a boxing gym. I got really healthy. I got really fit. I lost a lot of weight. I looked really good, and I was about 68 kilos, and I felt so good. And then I met a man who, I fell in love with and who ended up being violent and abusive. And so I think in the back of my mind, my subconscious, that protective is protecting me from, when you were, 68 kilos and feeling really fit and looking really great, you met a man who hurt you, so much. So we don't want to do that again. Let's not do that again. So that's where I believe that the excess weight comes from. There is also a lot of research out there that shows that cortisol contributes to weight gain and holds excess weight. Cortisol is a chemical that gets dumped into your body when you are under stress. So not sleeping enough at night can actually increase your cortisol levels, which contributes to weight gain and excess weight. So that's where I'm coming at in this transformation. It's about health, it's about wellness, it's about my weight loss, and I'm holding myself accountable. I absolutely believe in, personal accountability and responsibility, and I can't keep looking in the mirror every few weeks and going, ugh, can't live like that. That's no way to live. I would much rather love who I am, love myself, and appreciate myself, but I also need to be healthy. So it's just that double-edged sword, I guess. So this is day one. It is the 4th of May, 2023. For me, I'm about to go and have another infliximab infusion as part of my Crohn's disease treatment because I am in an active flare. I'm in active disease, but I'm hoping that with these last sort of really 6 months that I've done with treating my body better, believing better thoughts about myself, eating better, really, meditating, doing a lot of mindfulness and doing I do my own hypnosis, self-hypnosis, as I'm a hypnotherapist. I do a lot of work around healing my physical body and healing inside and the way I talk to myself. So I guess this is just wrapping all of that up with the last 6 months, how far I've come, and I'm going to get myself into remission, and I'm going to show you how I do it. And I'm going to get myself, looking and feeling great at a healthy weight, with, really great, blood levels about different things, cholesterol, etc., etc. I'm going to get myself into a really good place, and I'm going to show you how I do it because I'm worthy of that, you're worthy of that, I deserve that, you deserve that, and life is just so much better when you feel better. So, Lisa from Lisa's Sanctuary, day one, let's do this. I can't wait to show you how I do it, and hopefully it might inspire you to do the same in your own life. You are significant because you are, and I love you because you exist.